Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button. Enjoy these demonic tales.
The silence of the night was shattered by the creaking front door as it swung open. Clara and Henry, an elderly couple, cautiously stepped into the abandoned house that had stood untouched for decades. Their eyes glistened with a mix of fear and excitement as they walked into the darkness. They had always been fascinated by the supernatural, spending countless hours studying ancient texts and researching forbidden rituals. But this was different. This was their most daring expedition yet. They had stumbled upon a long-forgotten incantation, whispered to summon demons and unlock otherworldly powers. Clara, her silver hair cascading down her shoulders, clutched Henry's wrinkled hand with a mix of trepidation and determination. The couple trudged through a cobweb-covered hallway, their trembling footsteps echoing against the decaying walls. Dusty portraits stared down at them, their gazes painting the dim atmosphere with an eerie aura. In the study, adorned with faded books and crumbling manuscripts, Clara and Henry gathered their tools: a weathered pentagram etched onto the dusty wooden floor, ancient candles, and a cracked black mirror. In hushed tones, they chanted the forbidden words that danced on their tongues like fire. As the last syllable rolled from their lips, the room grew deathly still. Frosty breaths hovered in the air, engulfing the couple, as the atmosphere thickened with an unsettling energy. Clara's eyes widened in fear as spectral mists began to materialize before them, taking shape and transforming into grotesque figures lurking in the shadows. The air filled with a cacophony of scratching sounds, as if an unseen force was clawing its way towards the couple. Suddenly, the mirrors lining the study walls began to crack, reflecting the grotesque images of the demons surrounding them. Clara and Henry exchanged worried glances, their earlier excitement overshadowed by impending dread. With each moment, the manifestations grew stronger. Demonic whispers, a haunting symphony of demonic laughter and agonized screams, swirled around them. The wailing souls of tormented spirits resonated through the halls, mingling with the howls of creatures from the darkest depths. As the couple stumbled back, their trembling hands inadvertently bumped into a long-forgotten lever concealed behind an old bookcase. The room shook violently, and the house seemed to groan in pain as if awakening from a deep slumber. The once abandoned house came alive. Doors slammed open and shut, wind whistled through unseen cracks, and the very foundation quivered beneath its weight. Pervasive darkness engulfed every corner, hiding the malevolent entities now unleashed within its walls. Clara and Henry, now trapped in their own nightmare, ran through labyrinthine halls, the relentless pursuit of the demons echoing behind them. They discovered secret rooms filled with cursed artifacts, walls adorned with grotesque paintings of unspeakable horrors. Each door they opened revealed ghastly visions, until they were left with no choice but to confront the evil they had summoned. They found themselves in the attic, the air heavy with the stench of decay. Shadows twisted and danced, contorted into sinister forms. Clara clutched a rosary, praying for salvation, while Henry held a fading torch in an attempt to pierce the consuming darkness. The demons encircled them, their malicious gazes penetrating their souls. Chills ran down the couple's spines as the figures took corporeal form, claws dripping with malice, eyes burning with otherworldly fire, and jagged fangs ready to tear into their flesh. Just as all hope seemed lost, a burst of light illuminated the room. Clara and Henry had inadvertently found and activated a protective amulet, once lost, amidst the chaos. The demons shrieked in agony, recoiling from the radiant force that now shielded the couple. With an indignant growl, the demons gradually retreated, slipping back into the depths from whence they came. The ancient house sighed, returning to its silent state once again, as Clara and Henry, battered and breathless, emerged from the horrors they had summoned. The experience forever marked them, a haunting reminder of their audacity. They had summoned forces they couldn't control, and in their desperate quest for the supernatural, they found themselves caught in the jaws of their darkest fears. The couple vowed never to tamper with the forbidden again, for the demons now knew of an elderly couple in an abandoned house, and they would always be lurking in the shadows, waiting for another chance to reclaim their territory.
10 years had passed since the night the elderly couple Clara and Henry narrowly escaped the clutches of the malevolent spirits they had unknowingly summoned. The demon house had remained abandoned and forgotten, standing as a dark shadow in the heart of the town. One fateful night, Robert and Tina, two adventurous and carefree teenagers seeking excitement and a taste of danger, decided to investigate the infamous house themselves. Unaware of the eerie history that lay within those walls, they approached the decrepit entrance with a mixture of curiosity and trepidation. However, what captured the teens' attention was a peculiar leather-bound book lying in the corner of the room. Eager to uncover the mysteries hidden within the house, Robert picked up the book, its pages brittle and yellowed. Tina urged caution her intuition, warning her of the impending danger, but Robert dismissed her concerns. Ignoring her protests, he opened the demonic book and began reading the incantation aloud. Unbeknownst to them, they were uttering the same dark words of summoning that Clara and Henry had once recited. As the final syllables escaped Robert's lips, the atmosphere shifted. An unsettling wind swept through the house, extinguishing every candle and plunging them into total darkness. Suddenly, the oppressive silence shattered, replaced by an otherworldly cacophony. From within the shadows, figures materialized. Demonic monsters summoned once again, angry and ravenous. The demons, denied freedom for so long, sought vengeance on the mortals that dared trespass upon their domain. Robert and Tina's hearts pounded in terror as they tried to find an escape route, but the furniture and debris seemed to block their way. The menacing demons emerged, their malevolent forms contorted and grotesque, their eyes filled with pure malice. The teens were trapped, their fate sealed by their reckless whims and their disregard for the warnings whispered in the wind. As the demons closed in, the room seemed to shrink, suffocating the air out of Robert and Tina's lungs. They could feel the demons' wicked breath on their faces, their bony claws reaching out hungrily. Desperation fueled their actions as they fought back, but their youth and inexperience proved feeble in the face of darkness. Just when hope seemed lost, a familiar voice echoed through the house. Clara and Henry, the elderly couple who had inadvertently unleashed this terror, had returned. They came not as victims or bystanders, but as saviors, driven by remorse and responsibility, a chance at redemption presenting itself in the darkness. Armed with newfound knowledge and a ritual for banishing the demons, Samuel and Evelyn recited the incantation they had learned years ago. The room shook, and the spirits let out blood-curdling screams as their grip weakened. Light pierced through the shadows, forcing the darkness to retreat. The house trembled, its very foundations quaking. The malevolent beings fought furiously, unwilling to return to the realms they had been confined to for so long. But the elderly couple's determination prevailed, their voices unwavering. Slowly but surely, the demons were forcibly dragged back into the abyss from whence they came. With the last echo of the incantation, the room fell into silence once more, the demons vanishing as if they had never existed. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, replaced by a sense of relief and a newfound sense of purpose. Approached the trembling teens, Clara and Henry looked at them, their eyes filled with empathy and understanding. They warned Robert and Tina of the dangers of the supernatural, the consequences of meddling with forces beyond human comprehension. Their reckless adventure had served as a valuable lesson, a reminder that some secrets were meant to stay hidden. As they made their way out of the demon house, the teens carried with them a profound appreciation for life and the fragility of its balance. Though their recklessness had brought them perilously close to their demise, they had survived the nightmarish ordeal, forever changed. From that moment on, Robert and Tina became guardians of Clara and Henry's story, ensuring that the secrets of the demon house remained locked away, confined to legend and whispers in the night. They vowed to protect future generations from the horrors they had witnessed, embracing the lessons they had learned and cherishing the fragility of life. And so the demon house stood, remaining untouched and shrouded in mystery, its secrets forever buried within its decaying walls, a testament to the power of the supernatural and the resilience of those who dared to face it. In the heart of a bustling city stood the Boardwalk Apartments, a robust structure with a silent secret buried deep beneath its foundations. Unbeknownst to the tenants going about their daily lives, a sinister force lurked in the depths, an ancient demon craving for liberation. The basement, a place concealed by shadows and forgotten by time, harbored an abomination that had haunted the building for centuries. Its presence whispered through the walls and rattled the pipes, a merciless reminder of the evil it possessed. Curious and unsuspecting souls often dismissed the strange occurrences, dismissing them as mere tricks of the mind. Emily, a young and ambitious journalist, had recently moved into the Boardwalk Apartments. Eager to explore the darker side of city life, she had no idea that she would soon become a player trapped in a nightmare. Her curiosity piqued when a mysterious neighbor mentioned the unsettling rumors surrounding the basement and its supernatural inhabitant. Unable to resist the temptation, Emily ventured into the basement one night, armed with a flashlight and her relentless drive for the truth. Descending the creaking staircase, she entered the abyss below. The air grew colder, the shadows more pervasive as she descended further into darkness. The moment Emily's light pierced the pitch-black void, an eerie presence manifested before her, materializing into a grotesque form, a demon with sharp horns, leathery skin, and eyes that pierced through her soul. Its malevolence permeated the room, suffocating any semblance of hope. A gust of wind extinguished her flashlight, leaving her at the mercy of the demonic entity dwelling within. Panic consumed Emily as she scrambled to escape, feeling the demon's cold breath upon her neck. With every step she took, the oppressive darkness hindered her progress, as if the demon commanded the very shadows themselves. Whispers echoed through the basement as sanity slowly slipped from Emily's grasp. The demon toyed with her mind, conjuring vivid illusions that twisted reality. Her eyes deceived her, showing fragmented visions of her darkest fears brought to life, a mosaic of terror and despair. As Emily fought against the illusion, a glimmer of courage ignited within her. Remembering an old book she had once read, she realized that the demon's power relied on fear and ignorance. The key to its defeat lay in uncovering its true name, a name that held the demon's essence and would grant her power over it. Summoning the last vestiges of her resolve, Emily screamed into the abyss, demanding the demon to reveal its identity. With a roar that shook the building's foundations, the demon's true name reverberated, and the taste of victory danced upon Emily's lips. With the demon's name ringing in her ears, Emily unleashed her wrath and banished it back into the depths from whence it came. The basement trembled, as if grateful for its liberation. Yet, Emily knew that these buildings, wrapped in shadows and secrets, would forever carry the weight of their dark history. Word of Emily's harrowing encounter spread throughout the Boardwalk Apartments. Tenants shared hushed stories of the demon, cautioning others with fearful glances. In the end, the residents would always live on the edge of uncertainty, never fully knowing if the demon that dwelled in their midst would ever rise again, hungry for vengeance.
Benny and Jazz had always been fascinated by urban exploration. The thrill of venturing into abandoned buildings where the echoes of forgotten secrets whispered in the darkness appealed to their adventurous spirits. One fateful night, they stumbled upon an old building that seemed to call out to them. Standing tall in the heart of the city, the derelict structure loomed like a shadow from a forgotten era. Its windows were shattered, and ivy had claimed the decaying walls. Benny and Jazz eagerly made their way inside flashlight beams slicing through the thick darkness. As they ascended to the top floor, their excitement along with uneasiness. The floorboards creaked beneath their feet as if letting all know of their presence. Ignoring the warning signs, they pushed open a decrepit door, revealing a room bathed in eerie moonlight. The room appeared untouched by time, frozen in a surreal tableau. In the center stood an ancient mirror, reflecting a distorted version of reality. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, sending shivers down their spines. Unbeknownst to them, this reflection hid a portal to a realm of unimaginable terror. Curiosity fueled their daring hearts, leading them towards the mirror. Without a second thought, they stepped through their bodies, passing into the looking glass like ghosts, fading into the abyss. Suddenly, silence engulfed them, and they found themselves plummeting into darkness. When Benny and Jazz landed, they discovered themselves in a nightmarish hellscape. The air was acrid with the stench of brimstone, and the ground quivered beneath their feet. Demonic creatures roamed the twisted landscape, their eyes gleaming with malevolence. With hearts pounding, Benny and Jazz made a run for it, seeking a way back to the portal. The snarls of demonic entities echoed through the night as they raced through the monstrous terrain. They stumbled upon a dilapidated structure, a haven from the torment that surrounded them. Inside, they found a dimly lit room, its decaying walls offering a flimsy shield against the horrors outside. They huddled together, desperately, trying to catch their breaths, as the terrifying, nightmarish creatures prowled outside their claws, scraping against the walls. Time passed like an eternity, and the sense of hopelessness settled over Benny and Jazz. Their dream of urban exploration had turned into a living nightmare. However, they realized that if they were to survive, they needed to gather their strength and fight back. Equipped with makeshift weapons fashioned from the debris, they cautiously ventured out of their refuge. Each step was fraught with peril as they evaded the relentless demons. Benny and Jazz utilized their wit and agility, maneuvering through the twisted landscape while staying one step ahead of their adversaries. Days turned into weeks as Benny and Jazz learned the demons' patterns and weaknesses. They realized that a symbol etched on the mirror could act as a reverse portal, a way to escape the hellish dimension. With newfound determination, they mustered all their courage and embarked on a treacherous journey back to the mirror. Battles ensued, Benny and Jazz desperately grappling with the demons fighting for their lives. The screams of agony and triumphant roars blended into a symphony of desperation as they made their way toward the portal. Finally, battered and weary, they reached the mirror. With trembling hands, they etched the symbol into its surface, shattering the barrier and creating a path back to Earth. They took one last look at the nightmarish dimension they had survived and hurled themselves through the portal. Time seemed to blur as they landed back in the room they had entered earlier. Trembling with relief, they collapsed onto the dusty floor, their bodies finally free from the clutches of hell. The adrenaline subsided, replaced by a profound sense of gratitude for having made it back alive. Benny and Jazz walked away from that old building, forever changed their love for urban exploration, tempered by the harrowing experience they had endured. The memory of the demons and the nightmarish realm lingered, a haunting reminder of the thin veil that separates us from the horrors that lie beneath.
Hope you enjoyed, and as always, I'll see you on the dark side. Sweet nightmares.